Okay, that's Kanye estas vivanti. That's the word. Yeah, uh, that's one bit of audio that is working now. I need to now figure out how if I can get the other part gonna working. Apologies, I don't have the intro screen on me. Crap, that's a camera. Okay, I don't know. Sorry, that I am playing this without a mouse because the USB-C on my thing is also broken. Um, so and yeah, there are several things I need to set up, and the only way I can remember that I need to set them up is by doing things, is by actually streaming it. Um, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Right, come on. Every time I open a window, this trackpad's actually really bad. Okay, game capture seems fine. It's a little bit quiet the on that end. Um, okay, so I'm going to assume that all the audio is fine. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, now I just need to make sure that everything on each channel is fine because I stream it to each thing. I'm going to test in chat to see if each of these actually thingy. So does this come up on my thing? Oh wow! I need to access another device to make sure that that doesn't thingy. It appears that YouTube's chat is a no, which is not a good start. Also gonna bring up this to make sure that I'm not lagging to smeg because I'm currently using 4 volts on no not 4 volts 4 watts on this. I right, okay, so YouTube is having problems but the streamer is up. If I hide the game just to double check it's not behind things. Nah, it's not behind things. Cool. Okay. And now to test Twitch chat. Sorry, this is all the stuff that I would normally test beforehand. And I kind of wish that I could modify some of these descriptions beforehand. I know that you're meant to set it up in advance, but that's just not what happens with me. Like my old setup, and one of the reasons I'm actually uh, trying to move to a different one is that I actually couldn't set up the planned ones for myself originally, and so that was one of the reasons I kind of had to just sort of stream whenever. I'm literally just copy and pasting everything from YouTube into this, and I believe that I don't need to for Kick because Kick's just got a weird system. Okay, did that work? Let's refresh to see. Yeah, I'm also having to see if this is just going to completely time out at some point, because once again, I'm on literally solar power. I do seem to be stuck in a corner. Either way, I'm gonna test 2. Now, does this come up? Test 2 does not come up either. Okay. Wait a minute. I've realised what might be the problem. Test 3. Please work. And that's another no. Okay. Hello, one trainee too. Nice to see you again. I'm currently doing the setup that I normally would do under the loading screen, but I haven't right now because I didn't move the loading screen file over to this, and therefore I kind of messed that up. But either way, I'm just testing. Yeah, I'm just testing to see if the chat worked, and it doesn't. It should work. It's not working. I tested the it's connected to the right thing, but it's not connected to the websites that I've asked it to connect to. It seems, unless it is connected and it's all going to come in at first. I think what's happened is it's crashed. Apologies, this is probably going to be half the stream. I'm literally testing the setup on both solar power to see if I can run literally everything I have on just solar. Yeah, I think yeah. Because yeah, I'm trying to see if I can run a game that's easier on the computer on a sort of on a lower amount of wattage. Completely fine. Okay, I'm just going to do test 4. And I have some chat in thingy. Service disabled. Why is service disabled? Yeah. So far, I would say that I don't know if it's capturing my VTuber avatar as without any lag, because every once in a while I see it do a whole lot, so I might want to increase the wattage at least a little bit. Okay. The specs of this computer. It's actually a very good computer. It is running was it like it's not got there we go, it's working now. Yeah, cool, I have chat again. Right, okay. Yeah, it's Ryzen, what's it, AI Max 395 or something like that. I can't remember the exact details. In fact, I can just bring it up. Like, there's like no reason I can't. You know, just once again, it's a case of like I'm accessing some. Okay, that's I've never had an error running DX Diag before. That's an odd one. Right. The thing is, I can adjust the voltage used by this by this computer. Right now it's at 4. I think 4 is just a little bit too small, so I'm going to up it to 5. I can go up to 30. So I am legitimately working with as eco-friendly a setup as I can physically possibly do. Even the phone that I'm using as a camera is charged with solar power. I charged it this afternoon. The laptop itself is also charging, and everything seems to be working. So that's actually, yeah, okay. I'm going to double check, test if YouTube works as well. And one last test on Kick as well. Yep, that's that. Yeah, that's all. Seems to be working. If I have to, and of course I am on this other thing. Test 6. I need to log in to Kick to actually comment on Kick. Right, okay, last test. And then I can start actually getting into the game. Yep, okay, that's all of them working. Cool. Alright, so what was I doing last time I was in this game? I can't remember. The last thing I remember was going to the library and getting a whole bunch of sheets. So, this game has technically a fictional language. It's not really fictional. It's actually Esperanto. And so I have been learning it. But I don't. So I'm going to double check that I know what I'm doing by quickly doing the practice sections. Yeah. Montri is to show, Vidi is to see, Rigardi is to look, Audi is to hear, Ausculti is to listen, Voce is to call. I don't think I remember most of that. I think I remember Vidi and Audi, and I'm using a lot of sign language to try and knock that into my head. Unfortunately, until I get 3D, I won't be able to, you know, show my knowledge of sign language. But it's at the very least something that I can remember.
Diri, paroli, babili, pensi, imagi, concentrigi.
I remember pensi, imagi, babili, paroli, and I can't remember. I won't remember the difference between those two. That's a very Romance language, paroli and babili. And Diri is to tell. And I think Diri I used to have trouble with last time. Pensi, imagi, concentrigi. Yes. So I believe the story so far is that this character has been isekai'd to this new Japan, except from they don't speak Japanese there. They speak Yuliamo, which is this world's equivalent to Cylton. Yes. Yeah, I've been learning basically mostly through this game, and I also did Duolingo for quite a while. I actually got quite a way through Duolingo's Esperanto thing before they changed the system, erased all my data, and now that they did that AI thing, I've just completely stopped using Duolingo. So if I'm going to learn Esperanto, I'm going to have to find a different way, and eventually I'll be able to get to that point where I understand all of the videos that Rimmer watched in Red Dwarf, but I'm not there yet. So, excuse me, do you sell eggs? This chu ovo vendas. Vendas is to sell.
Yes! Said vi devas diri?
Yes, said vi diras diri. Yes, you. Oh, I did. I do not. I don't know what devas means.
Ĉu oni vendas skatolon da ovoj tie ĉi? Ĉu ne?
Oni. I should know what oni means. Skatolon da ovoi tie chi. Oni vendas skatolon da ovoi tie chi chine. Okay?
卵はパックで複数入りだから、1個ついて、オーボイか。
Yeah, I heard that the AI thing upset a lot of peeps. It's a shame they did that. Yeah, I knew a lot of people who were using Duolingo, and as soon as they started doing that, they left. The biggest issue for me is that they actually had a very strong community, especially with I was using it to learn Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic, and there was a big community that sprang up immediately trying to teach each other Gaelic. And a whole bunch of Scotland actually, wants to learn Gaelic. It's just that we don't have the resources. We like the idea of being able to, speak the old Highland language, and actually, because it's still a living language, we'd like to converse with each other in it. So when this community sprang up, got the fastest course out, and a lot of people joined, and then they did this, they killed the huge community support that they had for not just Gaelic, but for every language, which was a big problem for me, It's one of the greatest things that they got about it, and they ruined it. I nodded in acknowledgement as I took the carton of eggs the woman handed to me. I realised that after the fact, I probably should have added to eggs, because it was the object of the sentence. Okay, that may be the best description of how to do that I've ever seen, because I honestly struggle to understand when you're meant to add the end at the end of things. Alright, I'd be more careful next time.
それと、あとはリンゴだから、チュポモンペンダス
Pomo. Chu pomon vendas. Chu pomo vendas.
ねえ、みレコメンダス、アルビディリ、チュビベンダスポモンティエチ
Ah, okay. No, mi recomendas alvi diri. I recommend that you say, "Chu vi vendas pomon tiachi." Do you sell apples? And I don't know what tiachi means. She nodded with a smile before shaking her head and speaking a phrase to correct my sentence.
つけるだけじゃダメ主語が抜けていたから
It's not enough to add. Is it because I left out the subject? I was wondering, but then the clerk said with a smile. Hiom, who, da, I don't know what that means. Pomoi, vi volas aceti, she asked. Aceti is to buy. How many would you like to buy? Yeah, what's Kion again? I knew I should remember, but I was drawing a total blank. I started to panic a little and waved my hands in the air. Then the woman made a fist of her right hand and started showing her fingers one by one. When I saw it, I finally remembered what Kion means.
3つです。トリポモいい
Kion is how much. Right, so I got it wrong, but I think I understood what it meant. Hey, hello, Villain Lyra. Tree pomoin. Tree pomoin. Yeah, tree pomoin. Yes, that's right. Kion was the word that you used to ask how much or how many of something. That's going to be confusing because in sign language those are two different words. I'm going to use how many. Yeah, how many. Because how much is usually refers to cost, which is something that my sign language teacher used to joke about. If because if you get it wrong, you're asking how much children you have is how much do your children cost. There. But I hope you're having a wonderful day today. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing well today. Honestly, I'm testing out a new setup to try and use the least amount of power as possible, and it's doing quite well. I think that things are going quite well with it. Honestly, I'm quite happy with I don't know how long the battery and stuff is going to last though, so everything's thingy. How's your streaming going? Yeah, I was meant to do a bit more streaming over the last few weeks, but I never actually got round to that. It's the thing of if I say that I'm going to do a stream on these days, it doesn't happen, and I can't help that. I don't know how. So, but I have the energy to do it today, and so far I'm actually I'm quite excited to do something else. It's good your stream's so amazing. Keep it up. Cool, thank you. I'd been struggling like this all morning since Ruka asked me to take care of the shopping for her. Okay, I technically volunteered, but
なんだかな
I'd gotten everything I came for. So that meant I'd conveyed my intentions well enough. But it wasn't a good sign that the lady at the produce shop seemed to keep giving me little forced smiles that said, "Not quite."
結構喋りが怪しかったりするのかな
Is the way I talk really that clumsy? Always be hardworking, your dreams will surely come true. Yeah, honestly, I'm hoping the best for that. I will say, I feel like I've worked, I think I overworked myself at certain points, so I've got to know how to work hard is one of the things I would say. I'd messed some things up she hadn't even bothered to point out. The fact I didn't know for sure was incredibly irritating. I hoped if I said something wrong, people would point it out right away. I feel guilty about this. I've talked to people who are trying to speak English to me, and I feel it's impolite to correct someone's English, but I half feel like they also wanted me to so they could learn more, and it became really complicated. But enjoy every pixel of your gaming journey. Your streams spread joy and fun vibes are all around. Keep rocking and keep the fun alive. Cool, thank you. Right now, the only person who could do that was Ruka.
かといってあんまりルカに頼るのも悪いし
The fact that she would always answer with a smile anytime I tried to talk to her made me all the more reluctant. Feels a no. This was a lot harder than I expected. This was my problem, so the fact I couldn't resolve it on my own was really annoying.
なんかこう全自動マシンみたいなので相互翻訳できればいいのに。
Only there was some kind of machine that could automatically translate from one person to another. Man, I live in an era, don't I? Because we have that. It's not very good. Or better yet, maybe I should invent one myself. Yeah, I think a lot of people have since this game. And once it was perfected, I might even get rich off the thing. Yeah, too many people are trying. As if it was impossible for so many reasons. Not only did I lack the skill to make something like that, what could I even accomplish with my yearly ammo skills as lacking as they were? I'm doing great and amazing, dude. Cool, nice to hear. And even if I could do it, the only one who would benefit would be little old me. I couldn't picture people beating down my door to buy one.
もうそう終わり。そろそろ現実を考えようっと。
Enough daydreaming. I'd better start focusing on reality. This wasn't the first time I'd done this. I don't know what's wrong with this touchpad, but it keeps opening up a kind of start menu whenever I tap it, and I don't know why. Questions had been swirling in my head since yesterday. I needed to hurry up with a decision on how I was going to go forward with my studies. Would I really be okay if I kept trying to teach myself like this? Or should I try to speed things up by asking Ruka for help?
いや、待てよ。ルカ以外の選択肢もあるぞ。
Wait, hold on. Ruka isn't my only option. I'd passed on it at the beginning, so I'd totally forgotten. That's right, I had the option of going to school if I wanted. Lerneo. School. That's, Lerneo. I'm gonna, yeah,
手続きとかって面倒なのかな。
Blisters, so this game that you play occasionally. Yeah, this game I do, I used to play it a lot more often. I don't know how long it's been since I first played it, since I last played it, honestly. Because, I've got, every other time that I've been like, I might play this again, I go back, I replay some of the study things, and I've remembered every single bit of them. This is the first time I've been like, okay, I'm going to go back to it, and I looked at the things and I'm like, I can't remember some of these. So yeah, so I think it's been quite a long time since I last played it. But I do want to start playing this generally on Wednesdays, because my plan is generally on Fridays I'm going to want to play Ace Combat. On Wednesdays I'm going to probably play this until I finish it. Mondays it's whatever my friends want to play. Yeah, it's generally that's my general plan. I can't set anything in stone, because as soon as I do set things in stone, it's all going to collapse and I'm not going to get any streams done. It just seems to be the way things work for me. Well, to the looks of it, the game looks pretty fun. Yeah, it's like, I'm not usually a visual novel person, but I'm very interested in how games can be educational tools, right? As I am, it's like I do, I'm doing a little game development, so actually understanding a little more fundamentals is always something I like to do. So this is one of those things of I can how well can this game teach me a language is an interesting thing, because I mentioned sign language earlier. I actually learned sign language through VR chat, so I do think this game is interesting for what it's trying to do. You seem a pretty chill dude. Yeah, I thought yeah, I was. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. If I can. Where is it? There we go. If so, I guess I was choosing between Ruka or teaching myself.
まだ諦めるには早い。ひとまず学校について調べてみよう。
Ah, looking at schools. I've never done that since I did that for university, and that was it. So I believe the culture is different in Japan, so I don't know how much this person's going to get a culture shock. I'd worry about rest later. The rest later, not rest. I had to strike when the iron was hot, so I went to the Visitanto administration. Yeah, sure, go ahead, ask me anything. Or more accurately, Miss Ray.
Vi venis entre crudai vestagioi hodiaŭ, ĉu ne?
Vi venis entre crudai vestagioi hodiaŭ, ĉu ne? You came very crudai. Don't know what that is. Vestagioi. Did I not? No, that was Vivitantoi. It might have been more appropriate to inquire at the building next door, the administration office. Chose to see my acquaintance instead. After all, trying to explain myself to a stranger through animated gestures would be kind of embarrassing.
いいですか？行きますよ。
Already? Here we go. Yeah. Bonvolu vidi. Bonvolu is please. Okay. Haven't you upgraded your? Why haven't you upgraded their channel? There are no decorations like overlays or VTubers like a logo, banner, overlay, or becoming a VTuber for your channel so that your viewers come to your stream. That's because I'm mostly in the process of moving things over from my main setup. Admittedly, I did have an overlay. I'm considering redoing it, because I've got it, but I think it takes up too much of the screen, quite frankly. Yeah. And in terms of overlay, yeah, I think it takes up a little bit too much of the screen, so I'm going to redo it and do something a bit more minimal. In terms of the banner, that's legitimately because I think I actually have one up on Kick, but I should have one up on Twitch. So I need to do that because you know, I do want to do, and I don't know about the logo. Yeah, I do have a rule about doing a lot of these myself, but the thing is, it's like I'm going to have a lot of things that I need to look at. So it's like I'd be happy to look at your stuff though. Like in the link below in the description, I should be able to link to the Discord so you can show me if you want.
Yes.
Yes. Miss Ray was in the middle of doing some sort of paperwork at the counter when I interrupted her, hoping she could give me just a bit of her time.
私は学校これレルネよね。この学校に
School here, Linneo, this school. Okay. If her thought process was anything like mine, I knew she'd understand. Which, you can see the understanding on her face right now. I tried 3 different ways of using body language to convey my interest in school, and that I wanted to try sitting in at one.
というわけなんです。伝わりましたか？
Oh yeah, the Discord's in the description. Click the link tree and there should be one of the links should be the Discord. Thank goodness I wore such active clothes. I'd left the house in my sleep clothes. What kind of girl would do something like that? On top of that, Miss Ray's reaction was giving off a troubling vibe.
Perdonan, mi ne povas kompreni la signifon de via danco.
Perdonon, mi ne provas compreni la signifon de via danzo. I can't understand the significance of your dance, I believe. I knew it. I could tell that my passionate performance had been for nothing. Even I started having second thoughts about halfway through, but that was the best I could do at the moment. I probably would have been better stopping by the apartment and getting my Visitanto handbook, instead of coming here while I was so fired up from shopping. That might have given me a chance to realise I was still in my nightshirt. Wait, huh? My eyes locked onto the bunch of papers in Miss Ray's hands. That couldn't be. Chutiochi? Is this it? Let me see that a second, please. Mi petas. Mi petas, just please. Bon volu. I checked the papers and realised I hadn't been mistaken. These printouts were identical to the ones I brought home. That is to say, their contents were the same. They could be just spare copies or something. At any rate, as long as I had these, I could point to the words relating to school as I had tried to explain. This part where it talks about school under visitors' benefits. Here, Lerneo. Me, interested. What? Eh? I'm feeling so hard I wanted to cry. I tried to help by pointing to the words on the page, but I couldn't get my point across as well as I'd hoped. Even so, Miss Ray never looked confused and followed in my finger with each word I pointed to, trying to understand. Alright, in that case, I'll have to pull out all the stops this time. I took a notepad and pen from the counter. I drew something much easier to understand than my first drawing, the taiyaki. Taiyaki is the sugar fish that I mentioned in the title of the video. Basically, this game is about you eating a taiyaki and then being isekai'd to place. Ah, cool, thank you. Yeah, you've found the Discord. Yeah, that's fine. It was a foolproof stick figure. It's me estas, it's me. I believe it estas me. I scribbled me over the stick figure's head and wrote "Rin" on her face. I continued by writing Lerneo to the side, drew a big circle around it. You probably should have drawn a building. Finally, I drew an arrow connecting me as stick figure to the school with a question mark next to it. Would this make sense to her? Tiochi Lerneo, with her head tilted slightly, she took her own pen and added Ruka to the circle marked Lerneo. Does that mean Ruka's school? That's my preference if possible, but it seemed unlikely that we'd be in the same school, let alone the same class due to our age difference. That's probably a given, but if there was one chance in a million, I had to be sure. Miss Ray, mi estas dexep. Could she understand that? Okay. Compreneble mi scias tion, char mi legis la documentation. I don't know what the first bit means, but I think the second means because I'm reading the documentation. Give her a nod, and I added 17 to my stick figures information. From here, it became a game. I connected the word Ruka. This Ray had written 17 with a line.
彼女は気温
She's Kion, I asked. She realised quantity meant age in this case.
Luca estas credible dec qual.
Jesus. Okay. Ruka estas credible dec qua. 14. Credibly? Dec qua. 14 years old. Man, sure.
嘘、私より3つも年下だったの
Yeah, it's like that's significantly younger.
Yes.
Yes.
それって中学生ってことですか
There's some cultural difference between me and my schooling in Japan's. Because in my schooling, we don't have middle school. You just have primary school and then secondary school. So they would both be in the same school in my culture.
Yes. Si estas mezlerneano.
Yes. Si estas mezlerneano. Mezlerneano. Right, okay. Middle school student. Mezlerneano.
じゃあ、同じ学校には通えないのか。
Then we can't go to the same school, can we?
Estu trankvila ĉar en tiu ĉi regiono la mezlernejoj funkcias en 6 lernojara sistemo.
Estu tranquila, char en tiu ĉi regiono la mezlernejoj funkcias en 6 lernjara sistemo. I don't know. I thought even if we weren't in the same grade, Ruka might still be in high school. I didn't even have fancies for. She was a year younger than me. She would come to my class asking, "Is senpai here?"
Kiel vi tiel senspirigis?
Kiel vi tiel senes perigis? I don't know what she was asking me, but I could feel pity in the air. Honestly, I didn't think it would be this much of a shock to me.
ちなみに、ルカの学校ってどこにあるんですか
By the way, where is Ruka's school?
Sia lernejo? Ĝi troviĝas proksime de la najbara stacidomo Isogo.
Sia lernejo. Ĝi troviĝas proxime. Ĝi troviĝas proxime de la najbara stacidomo Isogo. I don't know. It's near Naivara Stadium or Sogo. What? I don't know. Yeah, I'll do that after the stream if that's okay. Just because it's one of those things if I'm using my phone in the middle of the stream, so I don't really have a second object to thingy. Yeah, but once again, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to check it afterwards, just because Okay. She pointed through the window, but I didn't really understand.
Sia lernejo estas ankaŭ.
Tamen, ŝia lernejo estas ankaŭ. Her school is also. So she swirled her finger in the air in front of her before pointing down at the counter and saying "Lernejo." Here. How was I supposed to interpret that?
Pardon! もう少しわかりやすい感じで。Ankaŭ tiu ĉi biblioteko estas ŝia lernejo.
Thank you for the translation. Ankaŭ tio ĉi biblioteko estas ŝia lernejo. Oh, I knew ankaŭ. That was like also. Ankaŭ tiu ĉi, this biblioteko estas ŝia lernejo. This library is also our school.
もってどういう意味ですか？プロディベルサイキアロイ。
Pro diversaj kialoj.
たびたびですみませんが、わかりやすく。個人情報だからダメ。
Okay, that's private information, so no. Okay. Serious look came into her eye and her voice became stern.
ごめんなさい。そうですよね。個人情報を他人が勝手に明かすのって良くないですもんね。
Man. Especially since Miss Ray worked as a librarian. So she probably had to be careful about that kind of stuff. Wait, huh? Why was she looking away and with such a troubled expression?
レイさん、何か言ったらいけないこと漏らしちゃいました？
You're telling me something you shouldn't have?
ミフシス。
Mifushi's. She stayed silent and wouldn't look at me. That meant...
まさか、私の方知らないうちにとんでもないことを。ねえ、ビネフーシス、セドフーシスミ。
Nah, Vigne Fushis. Said Fushis me. I don't know what Fushis means. Turned and faced me, but her face was steaming red. She denied it, but I was definitely guilty of something.
ごめんなさい。私、空気とか読めなくて。
Then, in my middle of my sincere apologies, I suddenly realised I've been speaking pretty much nothing but Japanese for a while now, and Miss Ray seemed to be able to respond to me without any trouble. Were we having a regular conversation? Wait a second, she said private information.
レイさん、今さっき、がっつり日本語喋ってませんでしたか？
Ah. Okay. I think she might be a visitanto. As long as you go on living, you're sure to find good in this world too. When I was a little kid, I heard that line in the movie. I've never heard that line. Those were words spoken by the main character to a girl on her knees in despair, crying, "I can't go on." It wasn't like she was saying, "I want to die," so I thought the line seemed a little over the top. But at this moment, my opinion was completely different.
生きていれば、案外いいことあるんだよね。
I got it. I totally got it. Even hadn't quite reached complete despair. I understood what it was like to feel stuck. No, I didn't just understand it. I was living it. The familiar scenery of this world felt brand new to me. For example, there was that banner hanging over the entrance to the Visitanto administration. At this point, I would think, oh, it's written in Yuliamo, but now I was more conscious of my surroundings, I could instantly recognise the word Visitantoi as Visitanto. What? Visitanto as visitors. Right. Okay, so I'm meant to read the bottom words. I was at it. I should try translating the long sentences on the posters on the walls. Visitantoi estas. Yeah, no, I can't read that. con into yes. If it's a tan toy. Nah, I can't remember. I can't recognise any of that. I've not exactly been using the inbuilt alphabet either. Feel all the motivating energy inside me fizzle out. It was good I'd reached the point where I could read the words as if I really forced myself, but I couldn't help but sigh at the fact that there were so many parts I still didn't understand. Which is why it was nearly the first thing in the morning, waiting for my saviour. Oh, here she comes. Here, over here. I was waiting for Miss Ray to make her appearance. Good morning, Miss Ray. Fawn Matanon Rin. Her reply was so weak. maybe I should have spoken to her in Yuliamo. Bonan Matanon, Miss Ray. Kili Fartas. How are you? Malboni. Bad? Bonnie was good. And adding mal to something made it the opposite, so not good. Oh yeah, no problem. It's just I need to wait until after the stream to do things because I'm using all of my devices. That's the issue. Like I can't. If I do things on my phone, things will just crash and won't work anymore. And I can't use my PC to do it because I've only got one screen, and it's not really meant to be something I do multiple things on. It's just. It's just something I've got to do after the stream. Sorry. Did you catch a cold or something? Or maybe you drank some milk this morning that wasn't agreeing with. Semi-malcache dirus via visaggio cauzis almi capturnigon. Nah, I'm lost again. Found my head. Miss Ray took a step back in surprise. She looked away for a while, as if she were gazing up at the sky before saying, if I may say, you're feeling dizzy. I'm feeling dizzy. I am feeling dizzy. Right, okay.
大丈夫ですかって私を見たからどうしてですか格好が変とかじゃないですよね
Made sure I hadn't left the apartment in my sleep clothes like yesterday. Jesus, what the smeg's happening to my model? Right. Here's another one of those things. So I don't know if that's the camera or the thing messing up. So it looks fine now.
Ryu, それは早い時間、予期しない訪問。この2つです。
The reason? It is an early hour, an unexpected visit. Both of these. Understood. Miss Ray hadn't expected to be greeted by me, waiting at the front steps before the building opened at 10 a.m.
そして、今日のご用件は?
So, what is today's business?
ですね、勉強を教えてもらおうと思いまして。
I thought maybe you could help me with my studies.
勉強? To be... 新しいプリント望む?
Studies. Yeah, Chuvy, do you want more printouts?
方法は先生にお任せします。
I'll leave a message to you, teacher.
せいはい、レイさんに教わるのが一番手っ取り早いと思ったんです。ああ、アンカビ
Fees. Clearly, a very yeah. It's once again there is miscommunication and nobody knows where, and it doesn't help that Rin's a very active person, you know, very outgoing, active kind of person.
教えてもらうのってダメですか？ダメ、違う。said Almena 先生。
But Almenau sensei. Not that, but something sensei. Miss Ray seemed to be speaking a mixture of Yoriamo and Japanese. Yeah, because she's trying to get her point across. But somehow I got the impression that the word sensei was the part she took issue with. In that case.
わかりました。じゃあ、先生改め、師匠でどうでしょう？
師匠。
師匠。師匠？マイストロ？H Primalbone!
Okay, Master Maestro H Malbone. That's bad. Didn't like that word either. It looked like she didn't like words that were close to sensei either. In that case, the only option left was...
じゃあ、先輩で。
Senpai! The way she stood there with her mouth hanging open left me so surprised that time stopped. Then she gasped with an expression like she just realised something, began rummaging in her bag as she turned to walk away.
レイさん、どこへ?
God. This Megan, I get bad secondhand embarrassment. You know, Megan, I'm weak to dramatic irony. Gonna increase the voltage one more time just to make sure. Right, 6 volts. See if that's good enough. Because once again, at this point, I don't know if it's it's just the camera. We weren't done talking, so I quickly followed after her.
Estas tempo por malfermi la bibliotecon.
Estas tempo por malfermi la bibliotecon. What's malfermi? Close? I didn't realise the reason she was in such a hurry. It's almost time for the library to open. 10 a.m.
なんか怒らせちゃったかも。
Wonder if she's mad at me now. Even I could tell I really shot myself in the foot. Miss Ray went into the librarian's office and didn't come out. That impulse to strike while the iron is hot had bitten me in the... Yeah.
そうなんだよね。私がやる気だからって。
Now I've done it. I was just feeling so motivated. If she wouldn't agree to it, then that was that. Besides, I was the only one with nothing but time on my hands. Miss Ray had her job here at the library.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ほんとごめんなさい。
Yeah. I was really regretting that I'd let my enthusiasm get the better of me by following her into the library. Maybe I should go home for today, but it seemed rude to leave without saying anything, so I decided to stick around a little longer.
まあ、それならそれで、時間は有効に使うべきかな。
Well, if that's how it's going to be, might as well make use of the time. I took out the notebook I brought with me, and I started to study.
この前、ここでやったのは、と。
What did I cover last time I was at the library? That's what I want to remember. Seems like it might take a little while to remember how far I'd gotten last time.
確か不定詞がどうので。
Pretty sure the infinitives went like, for the infinitives XXX plus that, it was something like at the end depending on its function, right? Right, that's right. Removing the and adding ns made it past tense. He's fuck. Huh. Ah. No, I've got it on Esperanto text. So it's like, it's been a little bit too long for me to remember. That's the thing.
これはもう体で覚えた感があるよね。
At this point, it feels like I've got pretty much everything down. I've pretty much got this down. Would the day I could read the poster hanging by the entrance arrive soon? Alright, I've decided I'd look at a know her printout. That's a typo.
すげえ。これなんだっけ。
What the smeg was this again? I remember studying this last time. And my eyes confirmed it was definitely the same as before. But the moment I started looking at this egg and each, my brain froze. On top of that, I found a new printout that was even more confusing to me.
うわー、これは。
And I think my mouse has just crashed Windows. Ah, right, okay, the DX Diag's finally opened up. It's an AMD Ryzen 9 HX 370 with a Radeon 890M. No graphics card, but 64 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, I kind of went all out with this. Because this is meant to be legitimately, if I legitimately my main system. These two buddies, Egg and Each, appeared one after another. What? That alone was enough to make me cross-eyed, but even after looking at the translations next to them, I still didn't really understand. I could read both Yamlo and Japanese, but when my brain tried to process them together, something snapped. How should I approach this?
Chuvi
Serbumas. Ah! A voice from overhead surprised me and I nearly fell backwards out of my chair.
De nove vi surprises.
De nove vi surprises. Surprises.
レイさん、私、
Yeah, I've got to try my best not to get scammed, honestly. It's one of those things of like, but I have a little issue with scamming where I will dig as deep as I possibly can, but not before the point of pay kind of thing, just because I want to see. I'm interested in their psychology. I would say that. When I tried to compose myself, she reached out towards the desk and started to scoop up the scattered printouts.
お願い、聞いてくれた？
Did you listen to the request?
昨日の約束。あなたからルカに言わないのお願いを。
Ah, the request of you, do not tell Ruka.
言ってません。ダン君、ありがとう。いや、そんな頭下げたりとかしないでください。だけど、どう うしてレイさんが日本語を話せること、ルカに内緒なんですか？
Ah, right, okay, right. It's meant to be a secret that she can speak Japanese. Miss Ray tilted her head when I
ル
asked
カ
that.
は知っているわ。私が日本語を話せること。
I like scam baiting, but yeah, it's basically I have seen a lot of those scam baiting videos, and I at the very least want to understand them and see how far I can take them, because I know that if I the thing of scamming is I know that if I'm wasting their time, then they're not wasting anybody else's time. So if I want to dig deeper and I feel like it's a scam, there's no reason I shouldn't. You know, it's like I can have some fun. You know.
だったら、なんで内緒にしてほしいとか。
And why did you say to keep it a secret?
内緒のお願いは、私の失敗。あなたの前で日本語を話した事実。
Ah, right. Until that moment yesterday, Miss Ray had never spoken in Japanese in front of me. Even the day we first met, when I had registered Ruka as my interpreter. That day, even though she had heard what I was trying to say, Miss Ray hadn't tried to respond at all. She was pretending she didn't understand, even though she did. That was her intent all along. What did she accomplish by doing that? What did it gain her?
話したくても話すわけにはいかなかったとしたら。
Well, she wanted to say something but wasn't allowed. Prohibited behaviour. Maybe it was one of the rules of the Visitanto administration that she worked for. It's probably integration rules, because you integrate better if you're fully immersed. It was also possible it was some kind of unspoken rule in this world. Way to go. I wondered if it was okay for me to ask about that. Yeah, I will say that with if it is well, I've forgotten the word that I have just used. Yeah, immersion. That was it. So if I got Miss Ray in trouble by asking, then yeah, I think because immersion was how I learned sign language so well. Like, you know, my sign language teacher was really impressed that I was able to explain to him that I hadn't slept for 3 days and I had no idea why. And the reason I was able to was that I had actually, you know, in VR chat, we had done days where we were only allowed to speak to each other in sign language. And that's why I learned so much, because I learned how to ask, how do you say this in sign language? And it worked. Oh, these emojis look ugly on Windows. Yeah, it's it's like I'm not used to emojis, so it's like these so I really, yeah, it's one of those things of like I'm not sure how. I think that like have different overlays on the for them to display on stream as well. So I have no idea if my font will change them, because I know that everybody handles emojis differently. Like on Windows, they're different from Samsung, from Apple, from standard Android as well. I remember the old meme of just this friggin' what they're liking on Alien. Yeah, what the emoji for Alien was like on many different systems, and it just scrolled until just one of them was the Chad meme, and you know, it faded out.
何か理由があったんですか？
Is there some reason for that? Wait, what happened to the filter between my brain and mouth?
Comprensible said. でもそれは
Understandable, but it's there's no taking it back now, so I thought I may as well push ahead. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So if I need to know why I'm not allowed to tell something.
恥ずかしい
Oh,
だから。
yeah, that's all you need to say. Then I'll stop prying.
恥ずかしいって 日本語を話すのがですか?
That sign language thing is impressive. Yeah, honestly, like, it's like there's a reason why sign language is the only language I've tried to learn so many languages over the years. Sign language is the only one I've had any success in, and I honestly think it's because there was a community that I was trying to learn with, and that like, that I don't know how they managed to figure it out so well. It's like, for a lot of things, it's like, okay, here's some paper, here's some things you can practice, and they did basic practice, but and they did the lessons, and I had done the lessons at least 2 times over before the community, they called it the no voice zone, started. But that's legitimately where we were able to express ourselves more than what we had in the lessons. So yeah, and it was very ad hoc as well. It's like, because we'd tapped into the creative side of language learning, I honestly think that's what made it work, and it's also why I'm trying out a game like this, because like, I don't necessarily see it doesn't necessarily bring out the creative side as much, because conversations have to be 2 ways. So I'm seeing how, if this game manages to still get me to be creative in the language learning process without that, because that's the difference between reading a book and playing a game. You'd still have that 2-way input. So I want to see if that's possible with a game. And so, like, this is one of the few games I've seen try to teach a language. So I want to see how well it does that. And it's mostly doing it through story so far, which I'm quite and I'm quite enjoying the story, I will admit.
ねえ、知られたくなかったの。失敗を。誰に？ルカ。
Miss Ray didn't want Ruka to find out about her mistake, speaking Japanese in front of me. She wanted to keep it a secret, was that it?
もっとなんかこの世界の大きなルールがあって、知ってても絶対にウィジタントの使う言葉を使っちゃいけないとか、そんな感じの。Momento me petas. Bonbon. ゆっくりお願い。
ゆっくりしてね。Momenton, bipetas. Bonvolu, slower, please. I'd explained the scenario that had taken shape in my head, just like she asked, slowly. In one long spiel, I laid out my potentially overblown theory that if a growing number of people in this world speak languages that shouldn't exist, something terrible will happen. Surprisingly, Miss Ray listened to it seriously. Then, when I was done talking... That's right, she confirmed. Oh, I was right. Really? No. This woman, it's not fair for her to get my hopes up and then dash them with a grin.
パルドーナン。でも楽しい話をありがとう。だからお詫びとお礼を兼ねてあなたの勉強見てあげましょう。それって私また騙されそうになってません？必要なければ私は戻ります、仕事へ。いいえ、お願いします。教えてください。
Don't worry, I was going to miss out on this chance. I quickly organised everything on the table and got ready to learn. A powerful ally has appeared. I could trust that I was in good hands now. Wait, who'd ever promised me that? I started to get a little nervous, even as I was begging for help.
改めまして自己紹介を。私はレイ・アルバーロと呼ばれています。
Ray Albaro.
あなたは？
Yeah, it felt just like being called on by the teacher in English class. These sudden questions weren't good for my heart.
Mi estás Takato Rin?
Takatorin. Felt like I was already off to a bad start.
今のだと高藤が名前って勘違いされませんか？
The way I say it just makes it sound like Takato was my given name.
そうね。この地域では名前が先。名字を名乗るのはごく稀なこと。
Yes.
自己紹介の時ぐらいね。
Oh, okay. In this area, given name is first. Giving family name is rare, at least when introducing. Ah, so. Mi estas alisters. Well, is that compatible with Esperanto? Alisters. I think so. Now that she'd mentioned it, I don't think I'd given anyone my family name once since I arrived here. Hadn't I at least written it on my Visitanto registration forms?
では、今の質問をユリアーモにします。続けて繰り返して。Mi nomillas lei arbaro. Kaivi?
Continue. Repeat after me. Mi nomillas rei arbaro. Arbaro. Kaivi? Mi nomillas rei arbaro. Kaivi.
kai はこの場合文頭なのでそしてという意味。これは遠い接続詞と言います。
Okay, yeah, some speaking linguist terms. To me, it just means and.
この場合ってことは他の使い方もあるんですか？
In this case, means that there are other ways to use it.
他にはリン、カイ、ルカというようにすればリンとルカを表すことになります。
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it still means and. So it was just like the English word and. Yep. And it seemed like it could come in handy, so I'd be sure to remember it.
では、今の私の質問、繰り返してみて。
That's now. Then, my question now, repeat to me.
パルドーノ、もう一度いいですか？
Pardonu, could you say it again? When asked, Ray scribbled out something in the notebook. Nomiji, to be named, and Kai, which means and. With this, even my perpetually deficient brain might have a chance. Hooray for written language! Being able to read from a page was a lifesaver.
いきます。ノミジャス・レイ・アルバロ。
Nomijas Ray Arbaro.
そこはあなたの名前で。
Use your name
で
there.
すよね。すみません。
Not quite what she said, but okay. How nervous did I have to be to read her name? Took a deep breath and took the challenge again. To be fair, she didn't explain that.
ノミジャス・リン・タカトー。カイビ
Mi nomijas Rin Takato, Kaivi. Yeah. It's like, you know, I'm also doing the thing of like, mi nomijas Listers. Yeah, it would be Listers Hatsune, Kaivi. I don't say the second name quite as often because I've not earned it yet. It's like maybe one day, yeah, but I'll you know, if I get enough support, I can start asking if I can lay claim to the name, but not yet, not yet, not just yet. No mi nomijas listers Hatsune. Yeah. Jeez, that would be spelled really weird in Esperanto. Kaidi?
Mi nomijas Lei inter miaj amikoj. Ankaŭ vi bonvolu min tiel.
Mi nomijas Rei inter miaj amikoj. Inter? I don't know what inter means, my friend, and cal vi bonvolu voki mintiel. Also, you please voki mintiel, I don't know. I asked a question, and my partner, Miss Ray, responded a complete dialogue. Yes, this was great. Fair enough. Cool. It was the most basic of the basics, but now I felt like I could have a conversation and know who I was talking to. But this could hardly be called a conversation. There were so many words in her response, but it was unreasonable to expect me to understand them all in one go. I'm really sorry, but would it be possible for me to hear that again?
Mi no mi jas rei inter miai amicoi. Ankaŭ vi bonvol voki min tiel.
Okay. Mi nomiĝas Rei inter miaj amikoj. Ankaŭ vi bonvolu voki min tiel. I am called Ray. Something, something, something. Ankaŭ also vi bonvolu. Also, you please call me something. For the words I was able to pick out, I could guess at the meaning. I was pretty sure the infinitive voki meant to call, but there are some parts I didn't understand.
今のみあいあみこいは
What's that miai amikoi part? My friends, I believe.
みやあみこは私の友人で、みあいあみこいならば私の友人たちとなるの。
Yeah. Mia Amiko is my friend. If Mia Amikoi, it becomes my friends.
いがつくのは複数形ってことですよね。
Adding ye makes it plural, right?
Yes.
Yes.
どうしてアミコだけでなくミヤにも複数形のいか？私の何々も複数形になって私たちの何々ってことですか？あれ、そうすると今の説明と違ってくる。
Why is it not just Amiko, but also Mia that gets a plural ye? If you make my plural, then does it become our? Wait, if you do that, it changes the
あくまで
translation.
文法上の決まり事。形容詞化させた認証代名詞に「い」がついても複数人を表す単語にならない。複数人、私たちはにだから。
It's just Esperanto. Even when ye is added to personal pronouns in adjective forms, they do not become plural because plural us is ni, so there's a different word for it. I never questioned why that is. Now that she mentioned it, I felt like I already knew that us was ni. Once again, this is one of those things that's like, yeah, that makes sense. But it only makes sense because I speak English. For pronouns like me, the plural form was a totally different word. Like in her example, to make friend into friends, the prior word, the adjective, also need to be changed to the grammatical form plus J, right?
これって
This part. Found the part I was looking for on the printout that I pulled out.
これも今の「みあいあみこい」と同じ文法上の決まりですか？
Is this using the same grammatical rule as that miai amikoi just now?
そう。語尾は合わせる形で変化する。修飾するものが複数なら形容詞も複数になる。さらに言えば
If the modifier is plural, the adjective also becomes plural to go further. Miss Ray wrote something on the printout as she spoke.
私は新鮮な 魚をたくさん焼いた。
What? Sorry, I was reading that bit by bit, and hearing it in Japanese, I was going along with it in Japanese. But there are 3 different languages my brain's trying to process it at the same time. All 3 languages that I all partially know, right? So again, and I was just hearing mi vostas multe, right? Multe would make sense, except from when the hand was over the multe, it said fish, which is sakana. Right. Mi vostis, vostis, no. Yeah, it's just vostis. Multe, mi rostis multe, multine, fishoin. Fresher, freshined fishoin. This is like 8J doing their button in. But somehow, I understood. Yep. Freshoin fishoin, yes. Mil rostis multe freshois fishoin. Like when I brought a carton of eggs, 10 eggs, it was ovoi.
これ魚をたくさん焼いたからフィッションが複数形になって、その前のフレッシャンも同じように変化させたってことですね。
Because it's roasted many fish, fishon becomes plural, and the word freshan before it gets changed too, right?
その通り。理解が早いわね。
Right, that was one mystery solved. I couldn't rest on my laurels yet, though. Studying was the name of the game, and I still had a long way to go. Part 1 complete. Not.
で、それはそれとしてですね、話題を続いと戻します。インテルって何ですか？
Yeah, what is inter?
このインテルは何々の間を表すの。よって、
Oh,
インテルミアイアミーコイ。私の友人たちの間ね。
this inter means among. Therefore, inter miai and mikoi is among my friends. What's us again? I can't remember. Oh well. Can't be sussing Esperanto just yet. That being said, the only time I've ever played Among Us was actually in sign language. So, inter miai amikoi. Among my friends. I read the sentence she'd written down with pronunciations above and repeated to myself what she'd said earlier until I figured out my own translations.
みみじゃすレイインテルミアイアミコイアンカルビボンウォルボキュミン TL は
Ah, TL is that. Right, okay. Minomijas rei inter miai amikoi. Ankau, vi bonvolu voki min TL. Ankau vi bonvolu voki min TL. Minomijas rei. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the intonation here. Like Minomijas rei inter miai amikoi. Minomijas rei inter miai amikoi. Ankau vi bonvolu voki min TL. I think that's how we do it. It's like, how would you emphasize that properly? You two, please call me that. I should actually go on to make sure.
友人たちの間でレイという名前で呼ばれているので、あなたも私をそう呼んでね。で、どうでしょうか?
Yeah, is that right? Based on the context, I tried translating that unknown TL as so.
意味は合っている。でも、それなら少し変えた方がいいかも。
The meaning is right, but should be a little different, I think.
だから、や、何々なのでは、ユリアーモでチャルというの。これは、 従属接続詞ね。
That makes sense for them to both be the same word. Because and so are char.
従属接続詞。
Subordinate conjunction. Once again, linguist words. Yet another new kind of conjunction.
もしチャルを使って簡単に言い換えるなら
If we use char, then in simple terms,
Vok min lei, chal miai amikoi nomas min tiel.
Vokamin re, char miai hankoi, miai amikoi nomas min tiel. Vokamin re, char miai amikoi nomas min tiel. Yeah, that would be. They call me Ray because my friends named me such.
なんかいろいろ変わったぞ。ちなみに、チャルは遠い接続詞。文頭に用いると、意味がなぜならやだってに変わるの。
By the way, char is also a coordinating conjunction, so if used at the start of a sentence, it becomes because or so.
例えばこう質問されたとき、あなたはどう答えますか？
For example, when asked this question, how do you answer?
なぜユリアーモを学びますかと。なぜってユリアーモで話したいからです。
It's kind of just embarrassed to give such a simple answer. But Miss Ray wasn't smiling.
現在形ボーラスが願望の何々したいと思っている。で、不定詞パローリが話すことを表す。この2つの単語を合わせて、ボーラスパローリ、話したいと思っているに。
Present tense, volas is to desire, is want. I want to. Infinitive, paroli is to speak. These two words put together become volas paroli. I want to speak. In that case, I want to speak Iuliamo would become mi volas paroli Iuliamon. Because Iuliamo is the subject of the sentence. But there's always a subject of the sentence and you don't always get an end. What?
パローリとかユリアーモを置き換えたら
If I replace paroli or Iuliamon with something, I could use it in any situation. Yes. That's creativity. For example, I want to drink warm water. Mi volas drinki... something akvo.
Mi volas drinki varman akvon.
Varman akvo. Once again, I miss out the N because I'm still not used to the N at the end of words. Mi volas trinki varman akvon. I want to drink warm water. Mi volas trinki varman akvon. I made sure to attach the N to varma too, so I knew I had it right, which, yes. What other uses were there? See, I want to touch. Would be volas to she.
考え事は終わり？
Are you done thinking?
はい、失礼しました。
Yeah, sorry about that. Not good, not good. Shrey and I were in one shoot-round mode right now.
改めて質問よ。必ずチャルを使って答えて。
You must
あな
use
た
char
は
in
ど
your
うして
answer.
ユリアーモを学んでいるのですか？
I'd gotten carried away thinking about unnecessary things, so now my head was a complete jumble of words.
Kiel vi lernas Juliamon?
Kiel vi lernas Juliamon? So why are you learning Juliamo? Calm down. The answer had to centre on volas. Kiel vi lernas Juliamon? Mi volas paroli char. No, I want to learn because mi char volas paroli. Char mi volas paroli. I think the grammar's the same as in English.
チャルミバラスパローリ。
because I want to speak it. Miss Ray said to put it at the start of the sentence, so that's where I stuck it.
正解よ。
Yeah. Hooray for knowing having prior knowledge, because I happened to grow up speaking one of these languages that, you know, that use the grammar like that.
これくらいあんたうまてんまんじょですよ。
This is like Antal Mantin Manjo level. I can't remember what Antal means. Matin Manjo is breakfast. Well,
朝食の
before breakfast. Ah, she didn't get it. Yeah. I figured she'd take it as before. Antal, breakfast. Matin Manjo. Before breakfast, easy as pie. Oh, right, okay, that's why. It's an idiom from Japanese that didn't translate well in English. Right, okay. I'd gotten carried away, and now she thought I was an idiot.
私バカすぎる。
Was my idiocracy enough to make Miss Ray
みんな
angry?
モーカスビン。
Meaning Mokasveen. I'm no mocking you.
そのモーカスって何ですか？モーキはバカにするやからかうを表す単語ね。
Yeah.
みんなモーカスビン。
Yeah.
私はあなたをバカにしない。
Ah, the battery has run out. Mostly because it's not too sunny too. Okay. I'm just going to double check OBS to see how long I've been streaming for. Okay, actually that went quite well in that case, because that went from about 50 to thingy in a whole stream. And I'm using 4, 5, 6 watts right now. So 6 watts will last me that much. And it's also charged my laptop to full. So I can charge to full with half the battery and still have the rest thingy. It claims that I have, and it doesn't claim, it's not calculated that yet.
正解を求めることだけが勉強ではないの。あなたのように自分のことの葉で伝えようとする。語学にはその気持ちが大切。
Studying is not just about being correct. It is, in your own way, with your own expressions, trying to communicate. That feeling is important in language studies. That I do get.
ことの葉。
Kotonoha. She's one of the names of the game.
今のことの葉という単語はあなたにも通じる？言葉っていう意味ですよね。ことの葉って違いますか？
Basically the same as words, right?
それ
Expression
ならい
different.
いの。お互いの日本語が通じるとは限らない。何かを教える。私はできるだけ正しく伝えたい。
Yeah, that's impressive, since aren't laptop chargers like 65 watts nowadays? Yeah, they are. That was running at something like I can't remember if it was something like 40 or something. It was drawing for basically the hour and 30 minutes that I was going for. But that was basically all of charging for today that it's charged up to full. So yeah. It did a very good job for of charging. So yeah, I can not only do a full stream on half a battery, I can recharge my full laptop on that half battery and still have enough time for a full charge, which is about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, I believe, on 4 watts, which isn't what this currently is running on. But still. Huh. If we were both speaking Japanese, then it didn't seem like there should be any problems.
同じ発音の単語でも込められた意味が伝わるとは限らない。
Similar sounding
言語や
words, maybe.
単語
But
あり
carried
きでは
meaning.
なく、使う人ありきで意味をなす。それが本当の意味で生きることの葉だと私は思うの。
just been given a powerful shot of encouragement. So the idea that, yeah, that's something I think I learned through sign language. The idea of trying to communicate was more than just words, because, like, with when I learned sign language, I realized that I was actually trying to convey more meaning than my words actually were conveying, because you have modifiers in sign language. Because, like, like if I was to talk about the wind, right? And it was a light breeze, I would do it really slow. I would do the sign really slow, and but if it was like a really windy day, I would do it really fast, and I would also, you know, I would also make more of a sort of sound with it, because you can see you can see the lips pursing and the wind blowing, and so that there were expressions that I found that I wasn't I didn't always have the words I was trying to use didn't often convey the full amount of. And with sign language, they were able to convey different parts of them, but not fully. So, language is weird. Like, the fact that humanity is the only species on Earth that developed it as well doesn't help. every other species developed a very different kind of communication. Crap, I don't know if I just skipped something. Log. Nope. What she said was probably right, which I did see. Even though Ruka called them expressions from time to time, there was a certain refinement about the way Miss Ray used it, and a sense of class. Dog. As well. Just like the person herself.
レイさんってなんかこう優しくて人や物を大切にするそんな人なんですね。
Crap, I've just gotten sauce on my touchpad. I can see my brownie points piling up. Wait, had I just blurted out a bunch of compliments to one of my elders? Brownie points an international expression. I thought that was just a British thing. Huh.
そんなことないわよ。私は真剣な人には自分も真剣になる。向かい合って話したい。だからからかうような真似はしない。ただそれだけ。
Oh yeah, I've just been given dinner. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's why. Like, I put the plate down and I got sauce that fell off the plate and onto my finger, and then used the touchpad. Yeah, sorry. Since the weather was mentioned, do you have a sort of rainy season in Scotland? Kinda, yeah, but that's most of the year. Like, right now we are not in the rainy season, but the rainy season kind of should be coming soon. So we get this. There's a point where you get 4 seasons in one day, usually, where it will be multiple weathers. It will rain constantly, then be sunny, and then rain again. I remember one time a friend asked me if well, I asked my friend if he thought it would stop snowing, and he said yeah, and it snowed. But well, yeah, yeah, like, but yeah, we get. I don't know if rainy season. I don't think it's the same as anywhere else, because it really is a lot more of the weather's never predictable. It's always going to rain, and it sometimes just rains for like 10 minutes, like at the worst time, and then like it will stop raining for the rest of the day. It's it's weird, the weather over here, and we'll say it's very just mostly rainy. That being said, I think Ireland actually absorbs most of the rain. So, yeah. amazing. Miss Ray was so grown up.
でも別のことではミモーコスピン
In other matters, Mimoko's been. Did Moki just change? The fact that she didn't use the negative ne meant.
ひどいお前をバカにするとか言いましたよねそこまではしないわほんの少しからかうそれだけ
Just messing with you. That's all like her favorite
モー
thing.
キマルボネモーキいやマルボナモーキどう使えばいいんですか
What are you trying to say?
正しく伝えたい
You want to convey properly?
もちろんそれはそうですよ名詞副詞形容詞それぞれの違いが把握できれば
Yes, look at the adjective.
いいえ
It's very blinked in a
なんと
second.
なくそうなのかなとかそういうのはわかりますがちゃんとした説明を受けたわけではないので自信が
Let's say at least Rin's a lot braver in saying and asking for an explanation of
あ
things.
なたへ渡した用紙に基本のすべて書いてあったはずえそうですか私見落としたかな私に用紙を渡して
Handed them over as instructed, and Miss Ray flipped through them. Then, tilting her head, she walked back to the counter. Oh. She made a surprise sound and quickly came back.
パルトーノミインテンツストーニャルビ渡したつもりで実は
Pardonon, mi intensis, doni alvi. My intention was to give, was actually red-faced. Miss Ray handed me several more printouts. The top one, written on huge letters, was
ま
basics.
あなんていうかネグラバスもらっても軽くすっ飛ばした気がしますし
Well, how do you say negravas? Negravas, no problem. Even if I had these, I'd still feel like I was thrown into the deep end.
それは
Oh, you mean
なんでもありません基礎大事ですよ教えてくださいでは初心に帰ってユリアーモの単語には語根と呼ばれるものがあります
so we got the root word.
この語根の語尾に「い」をつけたものそれが不定詞です
Ah, right, okay, so that's what the E is.
不定詞は単語が動詞の意味を持つ場合以下のような表現で用いることができます
When words in infinite form have meaning of verb, they can be used as in following examples. Okay, well, I get you've been speaking in broken English for the last little while, but what when words in infinite form have meaning of verb does not grammatically make sense, and I need it to if I'm going to be understanding this. Have the meaning of verb. Have the meaning of a verb. I'm just going to skip and hope I understand later.
読むこと万事食べることパローリ話すことセイリー座っていること
But I can understand this. I can understand this in
理解すること
French.
など
Because in French they have er at the end to make it an infinitive. For in English, I believe it would be to learn. To yeah, it actually says it there, doesn't it? Right. So learny would mangi. In French that would be manger, and to eat on its own would be mange. Je mange la gomme. But yeah. Learny, mangi, paroli, sidi, compreni.
が変わることで過去形とか現在形とかに変化するわけですね。
Yes.
おおむねその解釈で。
Ah, right, okay. Now, does this follow the same adjective rule? Past is manjis, present is manjas, future is manjos, and whatever a subjunctive is manjus. I have no idea what a subjunctive is. I did not learn that in primary school. Past tense, manjis was 8. Yep. Present tense, manjas was eating. Future tense, manjos was will eat.
レイさん、その家庭法って何ですか?
Okay, that's good. She doesn't know what the smega subjunctive is either. There was a verb that I hadn't seen before, manjus.
家庭法は実現の可能性がない、または現実に反すること、それらを表すとき用いるの。例えば、Sevi manjus livron, mine haltigs vin. ね。
Sevi manjus libron. Mine haltigus vin.
意味を教えてもらえますか?
Yeah, I'm gonna need an explanation too.
もしあなたが本を食べようとしたら、私はあなたを止めないだろう。
Sevi manjus libron. Mine haltius vin. If you were to eat a book, I would not stop you.
私が本を食べて、止めてくださいよ。だってあなたそんな真似はしないでしょ。そりゃそうですけど。
Didn't really feel satisfied with that answer. I don't know. I would use it incorrectly after that.
なお辞書には不定詞が動詞の代表として載るの。だから動詞を調べたいときは不定詞で探してね。
If you want to look up a verb, look for the infinitive. Same as French.
そうは言われても辞書自体見かけたことがないので、それに
I've never seen a dictionary.
仮に辞書があったとしても、それは他の言語用であって日本語用の辞書じゃないし。
There aren't any Japanese dictionaries. Yeah, there are.
あるんですか? 商店街の本屋さんにはそれらしいのが売ってなかったような。私見落とした?
They didn't have anything like that for sale when I was at the bookstore, or did I overlook them? I assume they're in the visitant
書店
hall.
にはほとんど並ばないから取り寄せる必要があるの。
Bookstores don't stock them, so they must be ordered. As I say, Visitantoi Center. Didn't even let the people who needed them know they
で
existed.
もあなたはここがどこだかお忘れ?
Did you forget where you are? Miss Ray glanced across the room and I followed her gaze. There were countless shelves of books.
まさかここって図書館だから。
Of course, this is a library. So,
お静かに。後で見せてあげます。説明を続けます。
clapped both hands over my mouth and nodded vigorously.
不定詞や動詞以外にも単語に文字を加えることで伝えたいことの葉の意味を変えられる規則がいくつもあります。その代表格が形容詞、意思法、これら4つは不定詞、い以外の母音、あ、う、え、おです。母音があいうえお？まさかユリアーモって日本語と同じ？いや、同じじゃないか。遠い親戚ぐらいですか？残念ながら日本語とのつながりはほぼありません。ただし同じ解釈で通じる部分もそれなりにあります。
Yeah, the 5 vowel rule is quite common amongst languages. What language doesn't have them? English, because English is 3 languages. Maybe more than 3 languages. Because I think most of the vowels actually come from Welsh. Because that's the reason why Welsh looks weird. Because it has an which is written with a Y, and which is written with a W. I think that's how it is.
言語のルールには必ずどこか似た部分があるの。そこを理解し、別の言語へ置き換える。それができるようになれたらあなた翻訳家という仕事に就けるかも。
Understanding these, you can apply to other languages. Once you grasp them, you may work as a translator. Yeah, because English is French, German, and Latin. Yeah, those are the main ones. But you also got Greek if you're talking about science. The Welsh has the occasional word, but it's rare. I think that's it. Well, I don't know if Galax had. Well, there's also like pretty much every colony that Britain colonized bringing its own words into it. Yeah, but every language has loan words. I mean, Japanese is half English nowadays just because they adopted those words. Yeah.
私は自分の思ったことすらユリアーモで表現できないレベルです。とりあえずここで暮らす人と話せるぐらいにはなりたいので、先生よろしくお願いします。
Can't even express my own thoughts in Giuliano. At this point, I want to be able to speak to the people who live here, so Sensei, I'm counting on you.
私を頼らず、できれば
Yeah.
はい、頼りきるような真似はしません。でも、基礎ぐらいは、
Yeah.
中途半端なままだと、いつか誰かにひどい誤解をされてしまったり、大切なことを聞き逃したりしそうで。
Yeah. Totally dependent, at least for the basics. Yeah. It's once again the thing of like, Rook is
そうね。私にも責任がありました。
Had I interrupted her? Yes, you interrupted her. She said Ruka's meant to be your teacher. Maybe it was better if I stayed quiet for a while.
形容詞とは名詞を修飾するもの。ユリアーモでは語尾のあがそれにあたります。
So, is an adjective.
例
Right.
えば、日本語の白い花は形容詞である白いが名詞である花を修飾しています。これがユリアーモではブランカフローロとなります。
Blanca Flora. Right, okay, so, yeah, the adjective gets the A. Right, okay.
ああ、雑誌のブランカって白いって意味か。それでは尋ねます。形容詞であるブランカを名詞として表現したいとき、どうしますか？
Change it to the A to remove the A.
それって名詞、
Oh.
名詞、
I assume it would be Blanco.
名詞って語尾。ヒン
Yeah.
ト。花。
That's actually a pretty simple system. I like that. Floral was a noun and it ended in O. According to Miss Ray's explanation, all nouns end in O. The word she was asking about, Blanca, was an adjective and it ends in A. Then swapping the A for an O.
もしかしてブランコとかですか？
Blanco.
その通り、正解。はあ、じゃああれですね。日本語で言う白いブランコはユリアーモだとブランカブランコにならないよ。
No, that is right.
空 獄の塩。なかなか詩的な表現ね。私、すごく恥ずかしいので、傷口に塩はやめてください。傷口に塩？
Yeah, once again, this is something I can hear in Japanese is different.
あれ、意味が通じませんか？傷ついた人に対し、追い打ちをかけるような真似ね。私の解釈。
Such a perfect answer. I made me think she had prepared it ahead of time.
人は恥をかいたとき、それをよく覚えているの。だから。
Yeah, your brain does that, doesn't it? Scumbag brain, remembering everything embarrassing.
覚えましたからぜひ先に進めてください。残るはうとえで、絵を優先しましょう。
Doing remain. Let's go with A.
語根に
Adverb.
えがついたものは副詞。これは他の動詞や形容詞、さらには別の副詞も修飾することができます。
So A modifies verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs.
例えば、急いで走っているはラピーデクーラスになり、ゆっくり走っているは何でしょう？
Rapide curas. My teacher is such a doll. Yeah, I have been reading something. Shut up, teacher, I do what I want.
また問題ですか？私、ほとんど単語を知らないので。
Another question. I don't really know many words though.
ヒントは、急ぐの反対。
Mal rapide curas.
今質問されたのって、ゆっくりですよね。
Cucuroni. So I'm still 34 in Japanese school, and yeah. That's certainly yeah, it's Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I know that when learning Japanese, it's sometimes embarrassing to say. It's like, yes, I like anime. Sometimes puzzles and games are so annoying when you have to look up the solutions in YouTube. Yeah, honestly, I get that. Like I feel like puzzles that are well designed are ones that you can solve yourself, right? But if you've a lot of the time when you go back to the old point and click ones, there are some which I call bull, right? Where they expect you to do a puzzle which you would not figure out yourself. Like there's no way you could figure that out yourself. It's such point and click logic. But a good puzzle will not have that. Like in my opinion, Portal has all the puzzles in Portal are really good because none of them are bull. But if in the old point and click games, that was sometimes the case.
ユリアーモーには単語の意味を正反対にする方法があります。正反対？なんだ？あれ？なんかあったな。あ、丸だ！確か、丸を頭につけたら、丸ラピデクラスって、どうですか？正解。しっかり覚えているわね。
Yeah,
もう私の教えることは。いや、先生！今ここで突き放さなくても。ほら、まだ、が残ってますよ。が、Bonvol esti silenta.
Bonvolu esti silenta. Bonvolu esti silenta. Oh, please be quiet. Dude, exactly spot on. I never thought of it Portal as a puzzle game. It's so good. Yeah, exactly. It's it's when they do puzzles right, and that's honestly, like, for a long time I thought I don't like puzzle games, and then I played Portal and I was like, this is fun. Like, yeah, but yeah, isn't it kind of creativity is versus very intense thinking? I think creativity versus very intense thinking. Hmm. That's the thing. Like, I feel like it's about in the box thinking, right? Um, like, from a design perspective, right? If you look at everything that's in front of you, and there is a solution because you can see everything in front of you, or at least you can gather everything in front of you in a way that makes sense of, like, okay, this, I have context that puts this here, kind of thing. Then you can, then I think that's when it starts to work. Portal was very good at making sure you had the right context for everything, but the actual thinking of the puzzle, I think, was all up to you. So, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm trying to think, because it's like, the recent thing I'm thinking is because I went to an escape room and one of the puzzles was that it was dark, right? Which to me was bull, right? If the puzzle is it's dark, so you can't see this stick that's in the corner. Once again, that's removing you from the context of the puzzle. Therefore, it's bull, right? Um, I can't. I'm trying to think of a one from a game specifically. But I've not played played one of those kind of puzzle games for quite a long time now. But yeah, I'm trying to yeah, yeah. Because a lot of puzzles is connecting dots, basically, of like having different things. Feel like, oh, that's what this is for. If I use this and this, or and arrange them in this way, or that's what this is trying to tell me to do. That's where the fun of it comes. It's the reinforcement of, I know that and I know that, and if I put them together, I have something new, and I feel like a genius. that's that's how it's that's how I think it's meant to be. You know, maybe I shouldn't say anything again for a while.
このボンボール
Oh,
が意思法の一つ。
bonvolu is one example of the imperative to tell somebody to do something.
叱られたわけじゃなくて
Bonvolu is please.
それも含めて例題としてちょうどよかったでしょ
That as well, but it's
意
very
思法
example.
うは主に命令を表現するときに使います
Ooh is mainly used
そう
to
す
say
ると
commands.
今のは静かにしろってことですね少し違うの例に挙げたボンボールは日本語で言うとどうぞにあたる促しもし静かにしろなら
Customarily, Bonvolu uses encouragement, like, please be quiet. Be quiet would be silente?
シレント
Yeah, yeah.
ごめんなさいうるさかったわねいえ他に誰もいないのでセーフか意思法は命令的な意味が強いだから最後にミペータスをつけて和らげるそんな心遣いも時には必要ね
Yeah.
シレントミペータスみたいな
Silente mi petas. Yeah. Bonvolu. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to contextualize that. Because it's one of those things of, like, Bonvolu and me petas are both the same.
だいたいそんなところねちなみに意思法は動詞です
Imperatives are
あ
verbs.
れそうするとさっきの過去形とかの仲間ですかその通りでは今日はこのぐらいではあ先生せっかくやる気になってきたところなんですできたらもう少しだけ練
That'd be you learn.
それは間違い。インストルーが教えろです。
Instruist.
何にしても他に来館者が現れたら、じゃあ他の誰かが来るまで日常会話に不可欠な単語とかを。前置詞、接頭詞、設備詞、疑問詞などいっぱいあるの。他にもいろいろ。その日常生活のために欠かせないものを教えてください。できれば覚えやすくて使いどころの多そうな単語を。
Indeed, we want to play some puzzle game. Thank you for mentioning random human on yeah, Kukroni. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you Kukroni, you've made somebody play a game.
相関詞かしら。規則性があって応用が効く単語群ね。でも組み合わせの数がとても多いの。
それなら触り
だけでも。もしも図書館に誰かがやってきたり、私がギブアップしたらそこで終了ってことで。わかったわ。では心して。あら、足音が聞こえない？このタイミングで。
My motivated attitude had been totally wiped out by some random person coming into the library before noon. Or so I thought.
どうしてこうなったんだろう。
How did things end up like this? In the end, I was able to learn about correlatives. Thing is, the person teaching them to me was...
任せて、リン。
There was another person I had to add to the mix. Is that what they call a guest speaker? I think that translates to something different in Svegan Japanese or something. I don't know.
ルカ、教えてもらえるのは嬉しいんだけど、今ってお昼休み？学校はどうしたの？
Yeah, don't you have school? Ah, there we go. There's the first thing to start running out of battery, the phone. I was thrilled to see her, but it wasn't even noon.
学校？ここ、私の学校です。
School? This is my school.
いやいや、それはさすがに嘘でしょ。だって、ここは役所の横の図書館。いいえ、ここはルカの学校でもあるの。例えるならば、文庫のようなものね。この前言わなかった？
Yeah. A branch campus. It's like, yeah, it's odd. You only really get those in villages over here.
あ、そう言われてみれば、なんかそれっぽいことを。
Oh, I do feel like she told me something like that. But at the same time, she wouldn't tell me what she meant by it because it was private
詳し
information.
くは本人に聞いて。私の口からは言えないの。
For details, ask her yourself. You can't hear from me.
でも、いいです。教えます。
Yeah, I was going to say, really long for my mate.
でも、ただではダメ。出すものを出せば、俺様も。
Do not forget, I tell you, I get it.
一人称、俺様。ルカ？あなた、どこでそんな言葉？レイの部屋の本？あれを見た？とにかくそんなセリフは。
I can't remember what that book is.
事情はよくわかりませんが、私、食費以外にもいろいろと払った方がいいのでしょうか？あなたも変に話を合わせない。
That's how it went. The conditions Ruka laid out was that I had to learn the correlatives afterwards, and then afterwards identify their meanings correctly on a test. However, Miss Ray immediately jumped out and said that's impossible and handed down the decisions that learning 3 or 4 would be enough to declare success. Also, if I was successful, not only would Ruka tell me about the library being her school, but
特別に私が持つ辞書をあなたにあげましょう。
as a bonus, I will give you a dictionary of mine. I could actually score a Yoliamo to Japanese dictionary. That meant I had to pull out a one. Okay. Here are the top and bottom cards to become correlative. Okay. So, this is an imperative. What? Negative. What? Pair the top and bottom cards to correlatives, right? Demonstrative. Yeah. Kyo?
疑問詞キヨ
Yeah.
これは何ってキヨオカーゼスアルフィ
Yeah.
これはあなたに何か起きたって
Yeah. Okay. Here.
疑問詞キ
Right.
ヤ
Okay, this isn't the
どんな
test. This is
ど
an
のよ
explanation.
うなです例えばキヤクナビノシエスタスで彼女はどんな女の子ですかになります
Right.
簡単詞なんという幸運キヨフォルトゥーノや従属接続詞関係詞で何々と同じようななどでも利用するの
Okay, yeah. This is where it's becoming a little bit complicated. So Kyo would be who? What? I assume Kyo is what, as in like what?
疑問詞キ
what?
ユは形容詞どのどちらのまたは代名詞誰どれどのとして使います
Right. Okay. Kyo is which one?
例えばキウンリブロンビエレクティスあなたはどの本を選んだので一冊を指すの
Kyo is which? Kia is what?
もし仮にキウィンクナビーノインビエレクトスどの音また関係詞としては前の文の人や物先行詞を修飾します ラクナビーノキウスタラスティエチエスタスルカここに立っているこの女の子がルカですのように
Okay. Laknivo Kyo staras tie si estas tie si estas Zuka. The girl standing here, Zuka. So Kia, where?
キエ疑問詞どこでどキエンビイリスヒエラオこれ昨日どこへ行きましたかの質問従属接続詞関係アテンドゥミティエキエミレイロス私がミイロスティエンキエビアテンドスミンあなたが待っているところ
Yeah. It just means where, right? I'm going to trying to remember what Kyo means, just because what
疑問詞キヨこれ
Kyo
キ
is
ヨオ
also
カーゼスアル
what.
フィこれはあなたに何か
What happened to you? So this I also put. Kia is also what? What
疑
kind?
問詞例えば簡単詞
That's what kind. So Kyo is who?
疑問詞キヨオカーゼスアルフィ
No, it's
こ
also
れ
what.
はあなたに何か
So Kia is only
Okita?
comparative,
で
and
どうか
Kyo
したで
is
す
what, as in like what verb? Kiel.
疑問詞
How?
キエルはどのようキエルビベニスエンチティウンモンドンどうやって簡単詞はキエルレルテレイクイラスレイはなんて従属接続詞ならリンダンツィスキエルバカメオエンラマーロリンは海の中のワカメのように踊ったなどでどうぞ
Ugh.
私バカ名誉の称号って
I didn't even get that. I think my brain power is diminishing now. I'm gonna save it here, and I'm gonna do this test another time because
セーブしますよ
my brain, man. I also need a drink, I think. Alright, with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Have been listeners, and I will see you guys next time. Onwards!